No, it can't be. It just cannot be. Well, I suppose we'll have to see what happens. So, welcome back, everyone. This is Deathstroke 9, and we are going to be reviewing another script for Cthulhu Live 3rd Edition. This is in continuing of my little series. If you are new here, please subscribe to the channel for lots of cool, awesome live-action role-playing, normal role-playing, tabletop role-playing, gaming role-playing, lots of gaming-related stuff, content. Anyway, get that out of the way. We are going to be reviewing One Starry Night, a awesome scenario for Cthulhu Live. Now, let me just get some things out of the way first before I say this is another edition of Should You Buy. And this PDF is 18 pages long, and the PDF is only $2 on $1.99 on DriveThruRPG. That is its redeeming quality, is it's only $2, so I cannot judge it too harshly. However, I was not as impressed with this as I was with the other one, Sight Unseen, and there will be a link to that video, which that scenario is just incredible. But there will be a link to that in the end screen link things on, whatever they are. So, also there's a link to this PDF in the description. You can go buy it. It's on DriveThruRPG. And let's just start. So, first of all, let me just go over the pros and cons of this. Unfortunately, it's so short that I don't even have a back to read. Normally I do. It's written by... Let's see, who is it written by? Sorry if the camera's shaking. I want to talk to you about the camera, but in a minute. William T. Thrasher, and again, Skirmisher Game Development Group. You guys do a great job. If any of you ever get to see this, thank you very much for introducing me to the world of live-action role-playing, as I've never done it before. So, it's very exciting. Anyway, or up until the fateful day when I found this system. So, what is this scenario? Well, the idea behind it is it's for 3 to 5 investigators. You need some staff, not a lot. There's a couple non-player characters. The biggest problem for me is there's a lot of documents that need to be prepared. A lot of documents. And a lot of very difficult to recreate locations unless you have a large budget, or like the biggest problem with the locations is that they're all over the place. Like there's a library, then there's a sanitarium, then there's a guy's house. And the script advises you to actually have, locations spread out so that the investigators can walk, bike, drive, whatever in between them, which is interesting in concept, but in practice probably very difficult to do, especially since a lot of them take place at night, and it would be difficult to do that without disrupting people, especially the climax, which is basically the only scary part of the entire thing, which is another problem with it. It's not super interesting. It's a very generic story. A guy, I'm not going to tell you everything, but a guy basically thinks he's foreseen the end of the world and wants to escape it, so he summons a Baki. I think that's how you pronounce that. I don't know, but whatever. And drinks some space mead and tries to go fly off into the distance. Unfortunately, the Baki is very hungry and ends up trying to eat your players. So, pretty straightforward. It takes them some time to figure that out. So here's my problems with the scenario. It's very generic, as I already said. It's not all tied together. Like the different scenes seem very disjointed to me. Like Sight Unseen, everything connected together, and was really more about the players just having a tactile, weird experience of horror than about a drawn-out story with a bunch of names that go with it and dates and stuff. The story makes sense. It's just, it seems like it's all over the place, and kind of, it would be cool if you were able to get like a real library, you're going to need the Necronomicon. If that's not a cliche in a Cthulhu story, then I don't know what is. So, but you are going to need the Necronomicon. You're going to have to make that yourself, like make a copy of it or something to represent it. then they're going to have to read certain chapters of it. The pages of what they need to read is included. I don't really like the way the handouts are. There's not a separate page for each handout in this manuscript. Here is one pro and con. In my opinion, it's a con, but I'm pretty sure everybody else will think it's a pro. First of all, I did not get these to be lectured about Call of Cthulhu, the role-playing game, Call of Cthulhu 7th edition, but I'm sure everybody else will be thankful and grateful and think it's very interesting that this scenario has rules on how to convert it into Call of Cthulhu 7th edition. So One Starry Night, it's pretty good. Like I said, it's only 18 pages long. Let me think, what else? You're not going to need a ton of staff for this. The creature itself might be kind of difficult to create. And if you don't get that right, then there's really nothing scary in the entire thing. Like, there's one encounter with a madman, but the book itself kind of describes this encounter as being unnecessary, and it says it's just put in there to rack up the tension. It's really just a red herring. It seems a little sloppy to me. But again, it's a $2 PDF, and again, it's got the amazing special effects assistance that I really like in all of these books. What else? What else did it have? It had quite a few spells that were interesting. One particular one is something that's like drawing a weird shape on the ground, and that protects the players. If you were able to get them to actually do that and figure out how to do that, that would be a potentially cool scene, but again, if you've played this before, it's probably an overused scene. The scenario itself, like I said, feels disjointed. It's pretty generic, but it's an okay story. It's worth it for $2, and it comes with the bundle that I keep talking about. So I think it's worth the money, especially the effects advice. It has all types of rules for how to convert it to the Call of Cthulhu 7th edition system, which is very nice for people trying to run it as a regular scenario. It has the stats of the non-player characters, it has the stats of the enemies, and it has sanity loss rules. And I feel like it kind of would work better as a Call of Cthulhu scenario unless you were able to get all of these intricate, kind of difficult to recreate locations. Like, so the other one, all the players are in sight unseen. All the players are blind, and it's a hospital that they're in. But in this, you got to go to the library, which might not be so difficult, except for the fact that you need like a bunch of different documents. You need a separate room off to the side. You might be able to get that at some libraries, but you also need the Necronomicon, which in my opinion is just seems like it'd take a long time unless you already have a book prepared if you've been doing this for a long time, in which case this scenario could be pretty rewarding, especially if you get that climax to pay off, where the players either try to stop the guy from doing his ritual, but then they walk back outside and the creature's supposed to descend from the sky to attack them. There are a bunch of different ways you could do this. If you have a house that has a low roof, you could potentially have someone on top of the roof jump down onto some type of surface, type of springy surface that's hidden behind bushes or something, and they would have the wings and the paint and stuff. It would be interesting, and could potentially scare the players. But Bakir is supposed to be huge, certainly bigger than an average human. And I feel like this monster is pretty difficult to simulate, especially since it's going to have to attack them. I did not like how this scenario did not have as much depth, as much guidance as the other one. This one had a lot more backstory and stuff that I feel is kind of unnecessary, unless you're playing Call of Cthulhu. So, should you buy this? Yes, I think it's worth it. I'm gonna give it a 8 out of 10. If it was any higher in price, it would be like 5 out of 10, because I don't like that it's marketed as a Cthulhu Live scenario, when really the entire feel of it when I'm reading it is way more Call of Cthulhu 7th edition, with the exception of the special effects and the handouts and stuff. Also, I would just like to say, tell me if you see a difference in this video between the other ones. Like, I'm moving around. Can you tell a difference in like the pixels and stuff? Because I've recently changed some of the settings to try and get these videos to be HD and full screen and cool. So if you notice a difference, please let me know. And hopefully it all works out well. So yes, One Starry Night, it's an okay scenario, and I would recommend you buy it. There will be a link to it because it's cheap, and like I said, I got this with the bundle. I might not buy it. I might not have bought it separately if I knew what it was, but I mean, it has good reviews on DriveThruRPG, actually. It has all 5-star reviews. I gave it a 4-star review. So anyway, thank you for watching this. If you have not already joined the Legion, please do. Please comment below. Tell me if you can see everything clearer, if it's in HD, if it's filling up the whole screen, all that stuff. Please let me know because it's pretty important. I've been pretty concerned about the way my videos have been looking. I mean, I just got this cool microphone thing, I recently got the microphone thing, but now I've been concerned about the picture. So, if you can see this, thank you for watching. I'll see you again soon, my friends.